What is up, Kitchen Marisa fans? How's it going? God, it's been so long. I really haven't had the opportunity to post anything new, and nothing came to mind. So I said, you know what, I'll lay low for a little while. But I just got invited to a football gathering, and what's better for football in this season now of fall that we've entered into, but a nice, warm, and hearty chili. Yes, I'm gonna make my chili my way. And of course, there are recipes out there. I've taken a little bit here, a little bit there. Then, probably my own thing too, like I do as usual, to make it Kitchen Marisa. So follow along. And please take a look and see what you think. You might find some of the ingredients, or rather the spices that I use, as a little bit on the weird side, but definitely, you know what? Google it. That's all I can tell you is Google it. There's so many different ways of making chili. And so this is something that I've tried over time. Not too much though. I think this might be maybe it might even be my second time making chili, maybe a third. But it's not a staple item in my household. But for the occasion of football, time to make some chili. And it's chilly outside too. So you know what they say, when it's sweater weather, it's chili weather. So come with me and let's try it. Okay, so the next thing to do is saute your onions and put in tomato paste first and then diced tomatoes. If you have canned or fresh tomatoes, those would be great. Here's the minced chopped meat and sausage that's been browned, and I am draining it for the oils, although I'd use the oil. Woo! Here we go. I use the oil to start sauteing and browning the onions. Again, don't forget, tomato paste first and then chunks of tomato, okay? In the meantime, you've also prepared some beef broth, which I've also incorporated two chicken bouillon cubes with the beef broth. Okay, beef broth. Say that 3 times really fast. Oh my goodness. I've also prepared some garlic. I'm going to keep them whole, and they're going to cook along with, well, not only the onions, but the sauce and everything, and then all of it together. So here we go. At this point, I've added the tomatoes and the tomato paste to the onions and the garlic, as you see, but also I've added bay leaf. Okay, that's going to give it a nice sweet flavor. I've seasoned everything: salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and that's just the first seasoning, right? Then when it gets all put together, so start cooking and reducing into the chili, then I'm going to add some other spices. That's the typical spices you use for your chili. Doesn't this look beautiful so far? Oh my God, I can't wait. So what's in here, you ask? What is she doing? I'm actually rinsing the beans that are going to be part of this recipe. So I use canned beans because, yeah, who's got time for soaking beans overnight and all that stuff? Now, obviously, that would probably taste better. But this is the easier way of doing it, or rather, the quicker way of doing it. So I use 4 different types of beans: black, pinto, red, and pink. But of course, you are welcome to put any kind of bean you want. And considering the fact there's a whole bunch of salt and sodium in these cans, this is the best way to rinse all that gunk out, and I'm going to drain these, and then I'm just going to incorporate it and put it into the bowl, or rather into the pot as it's cooking. So keep with me. Let's see. Okay, so obviously, if you're a cook, or even if you're not, you know that these are jalapeno peppers. So basically what I'm reading here on the bag is that they are hot. They have 5,000 Scoville units of heat. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just put one for now as it starts cooking. If it feels like it you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna put one, and then I'm going to chop them up, and if people want to add more, they're going to get it chopped up fresh and they can add more in their own bowl. How about that? That makes a lot of sense to me. What do you think? So what I'm going to do now is I had my the red one is a pepper that I grew in my garden, and that's the jalapeno pepper. So I'm going to put them in here, and I want to saute them a little bit first before adding everything else. So I'm going to try to make this nice and complete and tasty and all that good stuff. Just, you know, heat brings out the flavoring of basically everything, but it also kills the flavor if you cook it way too much. So for now, I'm just going to be sauteing this really, really quick, and then add the rest of the ingredients, and then cook it nice and slow for the evening. How about that? Sounds pretty cool, right? So yeah, again, that's the green is a jalapeno, and I decided to just put one because we don't know how people like heat, how much heat people like. But then, like I said, I'm going to actually make some myself, meaning I'm going to chop some up like this and bring it like chopped up fresh like that. If anybody wants to add any in their own bowl, well, then they're more than welcome to, right? So let's continue with the process. Again, I'm going to saute it just a little bit, not too much now. Okay, if you hear it sizzling, all right, kind of getting cooked, I just taste one of the red ones and it's already spicy. Either the red one became spicy on its own, or just in the same pot with the green ones made it spicy. So here we go. Putting in the beans. Okay, here are the beans. Like I said, they're canned beans, and all I did was rinse them because we don't want them to be too, you know, too salty, you know, with whatever that salt preservative they put in there. It really doesn't taste good, that's for sure. Okay, so this is this, right? Oh, look at that. Stop sizzling a little bit. Isn't that interesting? Plus, I'm trying to do this. I don't know, man. I don't know. Here, see? Okay. And so those are the beans. Again, at the point of them being all amalgamated together, I'm going to saute it nice and slow, or rather cook it nice and slow. All right, so now it's time to put in the meat that's been draining. Okay, and again, how much meat you put is totally up to you. I mean, I wanted to. It's not going to be too much of a big crowd that's going to have this tomorrow. It's going to be a few people, and it's going to be one of the many things that's going to be there. So, you know, I don't think we need to exaggerate. But here, before we put the sauce in, I'm going to now put the spices that I want to put. Now based on this quantity that's here, I think I'm going to put about 1 tablespoon of each spice. So what's the typical spices that go into a, whatchamacallit? The typical spice that goes into, you know, chili powder, curry powder, paprika, you know, that kind of thing. So here I have some curry. Okay. Again, I'm putting 1 tablespoon, and then obviously you kind of like, sorry, my onion powder is very thick. You kind of like, you know, fix it at the end, see what you think, salt and pepper. I'm not going to put salt and pepper right now because here's the garlic. No, that's the onion powder. There's going to be broth in there too. So from the bouillon, there's going to be salt, right? And, you know, we're going to see then at the end what needs to be what needs to be adjusted in terms of the taste. This is garlic powder. And now here's the thing, when I went to my trip in Morocco, I got some fresh spices from there. So guess what I'm putting in? I guess it's a curry, it's a cumin, it's a whatever. So I'm just gonna do it my way, because this is Kitchen Marisa after all, right? So of course it's gonna be my way, and rightfully so, right? I guess you can put whatever you want. I would imagine that people kind of like shortcut it, and they put the seasonings from the, you know, here's cumin, the seasoning from the, you know, from the whatchamacallit. But here's the secret ingredient. And you know, chefs of the land, whether they be a home chef like me or whether they be a professional chef, of course, everyone can do it their own way, but guess what? Here's a secret ingredient. Yes, you got that right. It's cinnamon. So a cinnamon stick cut in half, and I'm going to make all these flavors marry together. And again, like I said, it's going to be changed, you know, it's going to be adjusted in the end for whatever it needs to have adjusted. But I hope people like it. Now, I'm going to tell you, I did it once with this cinnamon and these flavors, and the sausage. I tell you what, it was absolutely to die for. I'm not even joking when I say that. I know a lot of people say that, oh, it's to die for, oh, it's to die for. Well, it was really to die for. So here's the sauce. It's going in. Woo-wee. You know, this, whatchamacallit, my microwave takes a lot of space. Anyway, here we are. Okay. So that had been sauteing for a little, had been cooking for a little bit. Okay, so that's done. And then what we're going to do now is put in some of the, well, probably all of the broth. Right? Now, obviously you can use water if you want to use water, but the broth is going to lend it another flavor, and it's going to make it taste good, I hope. I think it will. Listen to that already. Doesn't that look kind of awesome? Here's the broth, and you'll see it as it goes on in. So it's beef broth, and I also put chicken broth, as I mentioned. So again, you're gonna have to adjust all this stuff for taste. In the event that it's too, too salty, then I'll add some extra water and all that stuff. Remember the bay leaves. Don't throw them away. Keep them there. They're gonna lend it a nice sweet flavor that probably is going to cut through that spiciness. So here we are, people. See, I think this is it, really. Now it's just a matter of cooking it down. I'll show you the finished product afterwards, okay? Woo! Chili time! When it's sweater weather, it's chili weather. Not only outside, but on the inside too. Time to fix you a bowl of some chili. I hope this inspires you all, because it's definitely inspired me. Oh, by the way, something I forgot, oregano. I'm putting oregano that I grew in my own garden. Check it out. Oregano that I grew in my own garden. So easy to grow. Basically no maintenance whatsoever. You just got to do that all on your own. You leave it, let it grow, take it out, dry it up, and there you have it. It's pretty cool, huh? All right. We'll see the finished product soon. Yay, thanks for staying with me. By the way, one more thing I forgot to tell you. Something else that really helps it come along in flavor is coffee and cocoa powder. So, again, I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of espresso coffee. There's a richness that makes it, brings it out really cool. And here we go, cocoa powder. Unsweetened cocoa powder. Okay? And I think that's it with the secret ingredients. They're not so secret, by the way. You can definitely find them on Google and what have you, which is kind of like where I found them myself. Oh, and they say one more thing that I do have, and I'm putting just to brighten up the flavor, is to put some apple cider vinegar. Or I guess if there's just any other type of vinegar that you may have. So should I put a teaspoon? A tablespoon? Because by the way, it's been a tablespoon, everything I've been putting in there. What the hell is that? So yeah. Apple cider vinegar. Yeah, give me a moment, please. This is very odd. I don't know what this is all about, but okay. I know what to do. Watch, you ready? I'm gonna splish it and a splash it. Woo! That's it. See? There we go. Okay. Now, why did I use a strainer? I don't know. Some weird stuff going on here in the cap and the cover. But that's it. Apple cider vinegar. Coffee, cocoa powder, cinnamon, all the spices. And the main ingredients, the jalapeno peppers, the beef, the meat, the sausage, the beans. It's going to be really nice. I can't wait. Oh my goodness. Looks beautiful already, right? It almost looks like it's ready to eat, but it isn't. So there it is, people. Oh, there's going to be one more secret ingredient. Just stay tuned. It won't be a secret in a little bit. So here is the other, quote, secret ingredient. And it's mushrooms. I love mushrooms. And mushrooms have a great umami addition to them. I think the word umami was created because of mushrooms. That's just my personal opinion. At any rate, yeah, I'm just sauteing these. By the way, the best way to saute mushrooms, if you ever, if you love mushrooms like I do, this is the best way to saute them, right? You just saute them simple, quick and simple in olive oil, nothing else. You can put any spice you want on top of them as you're sauteing them, but do not put salt. because salt draws out the natural waters that mushrooms have. So what it actually ends up doing is no salt toasts the mushrooms. They become toasty and they impart such a hearty, delicious flavor. So this is going to go into the concoction as well, lending it that much more flavorful. And oh my goodness, I hope everybody that eats it is going to enjoy it to the fullest, because I know I am. Now, God only knows that sounds very selfish, but that's okay. That kind of selfish is not a bad thing, because here's the reality. I would never want to cook anything for anyone else that I didn't like myself, right? That's the secret. You as a cook, you as a chef, you as whatever you want to call yourself, have to like what you're doing. Have to enjoy what you're eating before you give it to anyone else to eat. I think that's key. So there you go. That'll happen pretty soon. Again, I don't need to show you me dumping it in the, in the pot here, but you get it. That's what I'm doing. Awesome sauce. So now it's time to taste it. Look at that. I mean, doesn't that even look like artwork? Oh my goodness. It's been a while. I think I've only done this, I want to say possibly twice. Maybe this is the third time. I'm not sure. All I know is that I'm looking forward to it. Oh my gosh. Woo-wee. All right, here goes nothing. Or here goes everything. Wow. I'm glad I just put just those two jalapenos, and I was thinking of doing more, but then I said, you know what? I'm sharing it, and I don't want to overdo it, so that was a good call. And then I just put it on the side, I chopped the rest, and put them on the side, just so in case you wanted it. So and for weather like this, oh my goodness, look at that ooey gooey cheese. Oh my gosh. Oh, with that sour cream, and just kind of cuts through the spice and the cilantro. Look at that. Wow. Try it, people. You'll enjoy it. Definitely worth it. And just oh so yummy. So till next time in Kitchen Marisa. What are we going to do next? How about this? How about you guys give me a suggestion of what you would like to see me cook? And then I'll whip it up my style, and let's see how it works out. Okay? Awesome sauce. So, alla prossima. Ci vediamo prossimamente nella cucina di Marisa, or as we call it, Kitchen Marisa. Have a great one. Yay! And by the way, one thing that I realized is I videotaped or I thought I did, or I did do it, but I guess it didn't save. But I videotaped the meats that I used. I used both sausage, but in this case, bratwurst. And then I used regular minced meat. So then it's going to go directly to it being cooked. You'll see the part of it being cooked. But those are the two meats that I used. Of course, you can use anything you want, or even just make it vegetarian. Entirely up to you. Buon appetito!